Hey guys, it's Jordan. A couple people said they'd be interested in a review of my STP, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have the Jimmy STP by FTM Pitstop, and I will put the link in the comments. When I was trying to buy it, I couldn't find a lot of information online about it. I think they're a fairly newer company. There weren't a lot of reviews, so I'm going to go ahead and do this video, and hopefully it'll help some people out if they're thinking about buying one. FYI, if you know me in real life and don't want to see my prosthetic penis, probably shouldn't watch this. And also, I will be showing my prosthetic penis on the camera, so if you don't want to see it or you're at work, probably shouldn't watch this video. I ordered it and I got it in about a week and a half, so it was pretty quick shipping. It was $170 including shipping, US dollars, from Canada. It came really discreetly. It was just an orange envelope. It said from Pitstop, just Pitstop, and then the customs label said silicone mold, so it was discreet, no one would know. In the envelope was the prosthetic in this silk bag, and a care card, which I may have misplaced, and a sticker. So here it is. So it's really realistic. When I first got it, I was really excited. It comes painted. They paint different layers on it, and it's not extra, so like, I don't know, the details just really great. Like, the head is more pink, and there's these vein details, and I don't know, I always like prosthetics with balls. I feel like they're more realistic, so obviously that looks nice. Overall visual, I'm gonna give this like a 4.5 out of 5. Like, I know there are other prosthetics that may be a little more realistic, like MSL or see, there's a few out there, but they're way more expensive. So for what you paid for this, it's real. I mean, it's really good. So that's the look of it. Obviously, you can tell it's really good. STPing, great. So the cup is really large, and it has this lip on it, so it does a nice seal. You sort of line your anatomy, your urethra up with like the shaft hole, and then pee. And I like always test it out by running water in it to see how fast a flow it can hold. This thing, like, you can turn the water up pretty high and it doesn't leak until like you can have a high flow and it won't leak, because the cup is so big for backflow. And also, I think the way it's angled, like the cup, I don't know if you can tell, but the cup is like angled this way. So, you know, like with Free Tom, I've tried to use them before and I couldn't STP with them. I liked packing with them, but I couldn't STP with them. I think the cup is more flat, and so it gets caught, but like, because this is angled, not only is it easier to pee with, but when you get done, you know how you have to kind of like push on the balls to get all of that extra pee in? There's not a lot stuck in there because of the way it's angled. So I just think the way it's designed is really, really good. And also, I've noticed if I'm peeing in the wrong spot, like if I'm peeing in the ball instead of in the shaft, I can tell right away. I can feel it, and I can adjust midstream and correct myself, which, that's crazy, because like I said, I've never been able to use an STP before. First time out of the box, I took my pants off, got in the shower, tried it. I did not leak at all. I did it again, no pants on over the toilet, no leaking. So I got a little confident. I put it in some briefs, because it says the way they say to use this is to put it in briefs like this against your body, and those pack in tight briefs. And I actually peed on myself. So the way they say to use it for me doesn't work. I guess maybe I'm not really coordinated, but I have trouble lining this up with my anatomy and managing to move this out of the shaft out of the hole in the briefs. So it just doesn't really work for me that way. It might work for other people. I'm just really uncoordinated, apparently. So when I normally pack, I usually have my 5-inch Mr. Limpy, and I have these packing briefs from, like, Packing Gear packing briefs, and I usually just put the shaft through the little hole in the front. So, like, the shaft is through the hole, and it's, like, hanging down like this out the hole, and then I put boxer briefs over these briefs, because 1, I hate briefs, and 2, I feel like when it's hanging like this and I have boxer briefs over it, it feels more realistic, because it's like hanging in my boxer briefs. So that's how I usually pack. So I was thinking that might work with the STP, but the problem is that the card for this specifically says don't use a harness, and so I was concerned that the plastic ring in this would damage my STP, so I didn't want to use that. Also, these are like $20 a pair, and I don't want to spend that much money. I got these on sale though. But anyway, so I went ahead and I spent $10 on a 7-pack of Fruit of the Loom briefs, and I went ahead and made my own packing briefs. So I lined these up with my other packing briefs, and then I cut a hole that would fit my STP, and then I sewed around it so it would be sturdy so it wouldn't tear. So then all I do is I put the shaft of my STP through the hole, and then I wear it like this, and then I put a pair of boxer briefs over these briefs. And it works really good for me this way. I guess it's just the way it works for me. Like I said, everyone's different, but for me it works because these hold the cup. Like, it's a little bit higher than it needs to be to pee, but all I have to do is take the shaft, put it out through the boxer brief hole, and then sort of take my other hand and kind of push this back, and then I can pee fine. So this holds it tight against me, and also like allows me to adjust without being too tight. I don't know. It works really good. So that's the way I found it works for me. Plus, like I said, the way I normally pack, I like having it like hanging, so it feels better to me. So for peeing, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 because it's the first STP I have ever been able to use. Now, for like packing, when I first got it and tried it with the briefs, I was going to give it like a 3 out of 5. But since I found, because just the way it wasn't working for me, and it like kind of smashes down because I'm not used to wearing an STP like this, because I used to like, my regular packer is like heavy and thick, so it doesn't like smash down. So this one gave me a little bit of a weird bulge in my briefs, but now that I've figured out like how to wear it and I'm more used to it, I'm going to give it like a 4 out of 5. Just because it's not like the same as a packer, obviously, because it's an STP, not a packer. So it's not quite on the same level, but I think it works pretty well. It's not going to give you a really big bulge because it's small. It's only like 3 inches, I think. But for me, that's fine. But if you're looking for something that's going to give you a big bulge, it's not for you. If you also like to pack up, this isn't for you because it's designed to pack down. So the shaft sort of like bends down a little bit, so you can just push it down. Whereas if you try to pack up, I think you'll end up damaging it, and also it just won't look right. So overall, I love this STP. I really do. It works for me. It's realistic. It's great. So I hope this helps somebody. And if you have any questions, you can message me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So yeah, have a good day, everybody.